I can't believe how lucky I was yesterday. I got in the black painting with the airbrush. Got up this morning thinking I may even get some painting today, and the forecast is rain all day. But that's always what we have to do every step of the way. There's no reprieve from the weather. We just have to work around it. And when I flip the battery charges every morning, I think, wow, the time I spent doing this restoration, how much I've enjoyed it over the last few years, I know I'll enjoy this FZR, maybe even more. And I guess that's the point. Every one of these restorations went through a long cold or wet or damp or something winter. They all were done in the winter. And when springtime comes, we have not a new bike, but for us it is a new bike. It'll be new, even though it's not new. It'll be a Blue Emu. I mean, what the hell am I talking about? Having a bike that's restored that you know you're going to be happy riding, it's the best of all worlds. So being blessed with another day of probably rain all day, I'll do a workaround today and see what I can get done. Now, Turbo Steve's job, I'm waiting for the clear and for the decals, but on a rainy day like this, when there's even a chance of rain, I wouldn't even consider doing any clear. So we can put that on the back burner. Now I got all the airbrushing. Hey, I guess one of the things I could do today, I could reverse the masking tape here. That would be productive. Not sure. Our airbrush, this was a little test we did, and it actually looks pretty good. I'm dying to see if those edges came out great. And if they did, can I use that technique for other stuff? Well, for instance, putting the edge on a yellow. I don't know yet. It's something I want to think about. So I guess what I'll do is I'll just start with the seat here. I'm thinking, trying to come up with a plan for today. Now, hopefully, what this is going to give us is when we start taking this tape off, and I'll do it with a hairdryer, of course, is by having this paint airbrushed on, where the edge of the paint is. Usually when you spray it, it kind of makes a radius there, and you have a pretty rough edge that you ultimately bury in clear. Well, I'm hoping I'll have less of an edge, meaning it'll just be a little less work further down the road when we start sanding out the coats of clear. Okay, so the first thing I do is I want to look at all of the paint work, because if I have any touch-up spots, obviously, right now is when I want to touch them up, not later. And it looks pretty good so far. But if I had an area that I wanted to touch up or redo, needless to say, this would be the time to do it, not later. So, with having said that, I want to pick a spot here. Now, I can truth in advertising here. Many times I've pulled up the tape and I realize, oh, I didn't have to pull that up, and now I got to re-backmask it. What I need to do now is backmask anything that's going to be black or anything that's going to be white. So the only thing that'll be exposed is the yellow. So I have to carefully think this through now. In my backmasking that I've done already, an example is I don't have to take this last piece of blue tape because I can just reverse it. I'm using one side of the tape to do the black and one side to do the yellow. So having said that, let's see if I can get through this without pulling up the wrong tape. Now, a lot of times, what has worked for me in the past, especially doing airplanes with very complex paint jobs, I'd make a list to myself and say that, and that had to stay, that had to go. This is not that complicated, so I'll probably only screw it up once or twice. Again, just as a safety thing, always heating the tape before I pull it up. And in this case, I'm gonna really try not to pull up the tape that I don't have to. See, because all I want to do, this is going to be yellow, so I'm going to try to think this through every step of the way. If that's yellow, let's see how smart we are. Okay, then that'll get backmasked on that side of the blue. And if you stop and think of it every step of the way, you don't eliminate the chance of screwing up, you minimize it. Now a little bit of overspray there, that's no problem. That'll go. But now I want to think it through as I pull this off, because what I want to wind up with is just what's going to be painted yellow. Now the good news is, if we get, and today is not going to be it, if we get in the next week or so a day we can spray yellow, great. If we don't, we're going to wait, because this now is getting to the critical part where I don't want to take any chances that I'm going to have to do any major redos on this. Now, just as a quick example, we already have the bottom of this is going to be white. This is what we need to expose. So I'm just going to have to run a new piece of tape that covers up the black stripe. But again, thinking this through ahead of time, I don't have to take this tape off now, but I probably will. It just won't matter. It'll be less time the tape has to stay on there. But thinking each step through and what you want to leave exposed and what you want to cover up, the next step on this is going to be to spray the yellow. Just pulled one piece of tape up to feel the edge, and boy, the edge is just as crisp. That is a razor blade edge. So maybe in this case that by doing the airbrush we did save a little work. I don't know, we'll find out. But I do want to take, I'm leaving the edge on now. See, this edge, this doesn't change. I know we're getting bleached out here from the this camera doesn't handle high light real well, but this edge, when I reverse mask this is called reverse masking. I want to use that same edge. I don't want to have to put a new piece of tape down. Down here where there is a black stripe, I'm just going to cover the black stripe with another piece of tape. But I'm not going to change the edge. The edge is going to stay the same. Well, so far that's left some really nice tape edges. I'm really impressed with the tape edges. Okay, now this is one tool that really helps. This is a really useful tool. This is called an X-Acto number 11 blade, and it's good for getting under the corners of these tape edges, just to get the corner to come up. When you use a razor blade, you tend to dig in, and it's these knives in usually $2 or $3 in any craft store. Use them for modeling. It's an X-Acto number 11 blade. Another really useful tip is when you pull this tape. When I've tried to help people learn things about even the modelers, you don't want to go like you're you know, the 40-year-old virgin pulling the hair off his chest. The best thing is the heat, of course, is the magic trick. And then to pull it back slowly. Some people have suggested that this works the best. I've tried that. Some people straight up. I don't think it really matters. But going slow and using a little heat will always be to your advantage. Now there's a little detail that I take care of right now. These little corners, and no matter how many times you press the tape down, it seems like you always get a little tiny bit of overspray in the corner. Well, what I'll do is I'll just take a brand new razor and just shave that down, shave each one individually, because then we'll be ready. Well, we're going to be ready. I want to pull all the tape off before I backmask. But that part, I would say that part came out pretty good. One of the tips that's worth its weight in gold here is brand new, not Harbor Freight razor blade, and shave that corner. Now, it takes a few minutes to go around each part. Where there's a corner, a 90-degree corner, I can just take that, and I don't want to shave. I want to shave off the overspray, but I don't want to shave down into the white. If I do, I have to touch it up. But every step of the way, I'm looking at this, and I'm trying to keep it just as good as I can make it. Of course, these parts are like people. They're not perfect, but what we try to have is that they're as good as I can possibly make them. And right up to the very end, with like I said, the touch-up never ends. The minute you think you're done touching up, you pull up some tape or you do something else, and all of a sudden you need to... But the touching up isn't a big deal. This takes seconds. But the result in the final, when you look at the part, the final thing in buffed out clear, totally different. So we basically have the same decision to make here as we did with the other, with the tail. I want to keep, this is going to be yellow. I want to take this off. But the problem is, what I don't want to do, I don't want to take off any extra tape, of course. And what I'm trying to do is minimize the amount of touch-ups that I have to do on this. But there's just really no substitute for just being patient. Here's where having that number 11 blade comes in handy, by the way. And you got to dig for the tape edge. Looks like Vince's motorcycle. Hey Vince, looks like your BMW, that black and white BMW. Now this is really looking like I'm real happy with this, that's for sure. And, well, any touch-ups we need to make, I'll make them on an ongoing basis. Now, keep in mind what I try to do, we're into this project a little over 2 months, 61 days in fact. And what I try to do is post some video every day of what I do in the shop. I pretty much work in the shop every day, so it's easy. Now the side panels should be pretty straightforward, I hope, in terms of getting rid of the backmasking. But you never know. It's always a surprise. Surprise every minute. Now I want to be careful not to take up any backmasking that I don't need, that I want to leave on. Try not to make myself any extra work here. The job is hard enough, you don't have to invent ways to make it harder. That's really the first time I get to see the ladders in real life. And I think you have to envision everything. Before you do this, you got to say, well, how's that going to look? How's that going to look? Well, I think this is going to be just really what I had in mind. And it looks, to me, it looks an awful lot like the concept sketch. The things that we did, we brought the yellow down here to change that angle a little bit and the angle on the tail, but other than that, I think we got it. Yeah, as I look, that's from concept sketch to there. I think we're going to be happy with this. And I can't wait to start working with John Pothier on some of the custom lettering. That's coming up. Now as I'm taking the tape off, I'm picking away at any little spot that just doesn't look just nice. Just get it touched up on an ongoing basis. Hoping I'd have more time today, but Karen has just advised me that the work session will be cut short today for family business. I feel like I'm in the mafia, don't you? Family business. Oh, I love that. But Even a short day like this, I always think, well, the main thing is today I wanted to get the tape off of the ladders and see what they look like in real life. And I'm very happy the way that looks, because I never really did get to see it in real life until today. And I've got maybe 4 or 5 little touch-up spots I want to take care of. There's always touch-ups. There's always a place you nick it or scratch it, or you didn't see that, and I'll get all that so that the next time I get to work on this, I'll backmask it. I'll reverse backmask it, but all the little touch-ups that I have will be totally dry. And that's a mistake. If I were to say just put a couple little touch-up spots in there, I'm going to be real fussy, I'll be honest. What I don't want to do is rush this in any way. I don't want to compromise it or rush it. It is really exceeding my wildest dream. And this is a bike that I'll be riding probably for hopefully a lot of years. And hopefully I won't be on a 3-wheeler either. I'll be on a 1-wheeler. Anyway, all beside the point. Anytime I can get something done that's productive, I'm really happy. So that ends a great day. That the weather actually won this day. Tomorrow hopefully we'll get this reverse backmasked, and then we just have to wait out the weather. So hope you enjoyed the video. We try to send one out every day, and thanks for watching.